What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, Dillian Whyte discussed the situation with himself and Anthony Joshua. He says that if Anthony Joshua doesn't look to fight him, he says his career is not based off around Anthony Joshua, but he is a title holder. He does hold 4 of the major belts. We know Deontay Wilder holds the WBC. Anthony Joshua holds the rest. He's the unified heavyweight champion. So Dillian Whyte says he does want to become heavyweight champion. He doesn't want to base his career off of Anthony Joshua and or around Anthony Joshua. But at this point, he really doesn't have a choice, seeing as though Anthony Joshua it holds 4 of the major belts. If he can't get a shot with Deontay Wilder, he's gonna have to go the route Anthony Joshua. So he says that clearly Anthony Joshua doesn't want to fight him. He doesn't want tough fights. He doesn't want stiff competition. This is what Carl Froch reiterated. Just the other day, Carl Froch said that he doesn't think he saw that Anthony Joshua was sitting ringside. He realized Dillian Whyte is not the same fighter he was when they first fought. He's improved, and Anthony Joshua realizes stiff competition. Anthony Joshua, he says that Anthony Joshua is looking to go the route of Deontay Wilder, but he doesn't believe that Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua is going to happen in 2019. And he really hopes that Anthony Joshua doesn't try to sidestep him. He said, but if he does go the route of trying to avoid him and sidestep him, he will take more action and pursue the sanction bodies, whichever belt he becomes a mandatory for. He said two of the 4 belts, he definitely see himself becoming a mandatory should he continue to win. He says, and then if that be the case, he will force and push for Anthony Joshua to be stripped of the titles because he don't want stiff competition. He says that he's hoping and praying. He talked to Eddie Hearn, who's the promoter of both fighters, Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte, and he says that he hopes that he hopes that Eddie Hearn can make it, which he reiterated that Eddie Hearn stated that he feels like it would be a super showdown at this point in time. I don't disagree, seeing as though Dillian Whyte stock has risen as of late with his victory over Lucas Brown and his impressive victory over Joseph Parker, and then his impressive victory over Derek CHISORA. He says that Anthony Joshua contradicts himself. He says that he really wants to fight me, but in the same token, in the same breath, he's saying that he hopes Derek CHISORA beats me. He said he hopes Derek CHISORA knocks me out. He said whether he likes me or not, how could you hope to fight me? You're really looking to fight me, but you want somebody to beat me. That's not the actions, that's not the words of a man that really wants to fight me. If that was the case, even though it's your friend and your countrymen and things of that nature, you still would root for me to win if you really wanted to fight me. And I kind of look at that, that's like a catch-22, seeing as though Derek CHISORA is Anthony Joshua's friend. So if Derek CHISORA is his friend, I can't, he might want to fight Dillian Whyte. He might really want to shake it up with Dillian Whyte. But at the same token, you got to look at it this way. Derek CHISORA is his friend, so he don't want to see you beat his friend, So it's like a catch-22 Anthony Joshua's in. So I understand where Anthony Joshua's coming from. Understand where Dillian Whyte is coming from, but Dillian Whyte must understand that if that wasn't his friend, then he wouldn't be looking for him to be victorious against Dillian Whyte. He would be rooting for Dillian Whyte so that he could get the fight with Dillian Whyte. But seeing as though the situation puts his friend in a position, he was going to root for his friend to win. So I understand where Anthony Joshua is coming from with that, because it's a catch-22 type of situation. On the same token, I think that Anthony Joshua beats Dillian Whyte. I don't see much improvement that'll allow me to believe that Dillian Whyte could beat Anthony Joshua. I just don't see it. I don't see what Dillian Whyte could do different to garner himself a victory over Anthony Joshua. Yes, in the first fight, he did buzz Anthony Joshua. He staggered Anthony Joshua. Yes, he did. But I don't see anything that he could do to beat Anthony Joshua, because he couldn't capitalize on that situation. And then, like in this Derek CHISORA fight, we saw Dillian Whyte still getting hit with hooks and body work. and even uppercuts on the inside. You know, we know that's all hearsay. That's all hindsight, because we know Dillian Whyte won by an impressive knockout victory. But he was getting hit and with hooks and things of that nature. His Derek Chisora was actually winning the fight, or at least a draw going into that round. And I got to say Dillian Whyte was winning, because I forgot that Derek Chisora was docked a point for low blows. So Dillian Whyte was winning the fight. But it was a close fight without the point being docked. I thought it was at the very least, a draw, or Derek Chisora was up by a round. So it was a very close fight. He was getting hit with a lot of big shots, and I think those big shots he won't be able to withstand from Anthony Joshua. So I don't really see Anthony Joshua really looking to duck Dillian Whyte at this point in time. I think the pressure is definitely mounting on Anthony Joshua to make a fight with Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder. I think he's really starting to succumb to the pressure, you know, and you know, he wants to make a big fight with one of them, but it's just not going to happen because they're going to rematch each other. So my thoughts is you're definitely going to see Dillian Whyte versus Anthony Joshua April 13th, 2019 in Wembley Stadium. Eddie Hearn is already stating that it's a huge fight. It would easily sell, and I agree with him. I know a lot of people is going to say, well, nobody want to see that, but well, listen, if Deontay Wilder rematches Tyson Fury, then where's Anthony Joshua to go outside of Luis King Kong Ortiz? Now, I don't mind seeing Anthony Joshua versus Luis King Kong Ortiz, because that was a fight that was supposed to be in the making and didn't happen and didn't come to fruition. And I definitely think that that's a fight that Anthony Joshua could take that'll bolster his career once again and get his name buzzing outside of the fact that people feel like he don't want to fight Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. I know it sounds like a contradiction, but, you know, we're talking about the history of the situation. Present day, he's looking like he wants to fight, even though today's fighters, past and present fighters, feel like he still don't want that fight. But, you know, I would like to see him fight Luis King Kong Ortiz. Why not? Make that fight happen. Dillian Whyte rematch. I mean, we already saw Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte already had a shot against Anthony Joshua, and he came up short. Not only did he come up short, it wasn't like he came up short on the scorecards, but he was knocked out. So if he was knocked out, you know, you had your shot. You know, it wasn't an unfortunate situation. It was that Anthony Joshua was the better fighter. It didn't go to the cards, and there wasn't no robberies, and there wasn't no controversy or any of those natures. Anthony Joshua won fair and square, point blank and period. So we'd like to see new blood. Anthony Joshua versus Luis King Kong Ortiz. Why not give us that fight? That would be a fight that that's legit and will be bolster your career. Nobody can argue with it. Nobody would be able to argue with Anthony Joshua versus Luis Ortiz. It can't get backlash. It won't get backlash. It shouldn't get backlash. Because we have 4 of the top heavyweights facing each other. Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury rematch, Anthony Joshua, Luis King Kong Ortiz. Period. Then we could get Dillian Whyte versus Gerald Big Baby Miller. The winner of those fights either fight each other, you know, then we could play round robin, either which way, you know. But I definitely feel like Dillian Whyte is going to be the front runner, because there's really nowhere else for them to turn but Luis Ortiz or Dillian Whyte, because Gerald Big Baby Miller should stand his ground, force Anthony Joshua to be a man of his word and come to the States and fight him like he said he was. If not, because their backs against the wall. Point blank and period. Their backs are against the wall. So, listen, with their backs being against the wall, and they already stated that if they fought Gerald Miller would be in the States, then force their hand. Big Baby, if you're watching this, force their hand. Well, don't give in. Force their hand. Force them to do what they said they was going to do. Right? Don't let them renege. And if that's the case, you know, they would have to go the route of Luis King Kong Ortiz, or more likely Dillian Whyte. So that's all I got for y'all, man. Expect to see Dillian Whyte versus Anthony Joshua 2019 Wembley Stadium, April 13th, 2019. That's all I got for y'all. Dillian Whyte says that if Anthony Joshua tries to run around the situation, he will force, once he becomes a mandatory, he will force them to strip Anthony Joshua. That's all I got for you. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hey, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for you. It's your boy Blue. Peace.